Hello, and welcome back to Cars of Glasgow. I'm Thomas, and today you join me at STRUANS Autocentre in Dundee with this Mazda MX-5 1.5 SkyActive and Icon trim. In this video, I'm going to give you a tour of the vehicle and some driving impressions, so stay tuned for this video. So up front on this little Mazda MX-5, we do have the Mazda logo right in centre, kind of forward down. And what I quite like in this particular Icon trim is we do have the white with the red flashing, very Japanese, and the paint is this lovely pearlescent colour. We do have those very small angular lights. And believe it or not, being a 2016 model, this car, as the time of film in 2024, is now 8 years old, which is just crazy because it still looks very fresh today. Now it's got the very classic car proportions. This car does have classic sports car proportions. We've got the long nose, short overhang on the rear, and being a convertible, you can enjoy the little spots of sunshine we have in Britain at a touch of a lever, which I'll show you when we're in the inside because it does have a manually operated roof. Now we do have quite small alloy wheels in this car as well, which should help keep the affordability of making this an affordable sports car to run. These are 16-inch wheels, 195/50 R16s for anybody curious. We do have a little indicator blade down on the side, red mirror caps as well matching the front, and we do have red flashing around the rear, but pretty smooth design language down the side of the car, nothing too aggressive in comparison to some things you see in 2024. But yeah, it's a really nice compact vehicle, and again I like the black A-pillar as well, kind of help with the floating roof. Just overall it's a very aesthetically pleasing sports car. Now the dimensions of this car is what keeps it, lightweight, and the ethos of the MX-5 is all about being nimble and light on its toes. It's quite a small vehicle, so the height of the car is just over 1.2 metres, 3.9 metres in length, and about 1.7 metres wide. Now, it does have a 45 litre fuel tank, which does give it pretty usable range. Now, around the rear of the car, we do have that little red flash up here on the boot spoiler, MX-5 logo, as well as the SkyActive technology. Now, I do quite like these tail lights as well, kind of look like a little bit like the new Bentley Continental, with a little kind of mascara flick going across. This particular car is fitted with the rear parking sensors, as you can see, and we do have dual exhausts down here. Now, to get into the boot of the car, we do take out the key fob, which is a little bit different to maybe other cars that we have seen. It's long and skinny, and a touch of a button on the bottom, you push that there, like so. In the boot of the car, we do have 130 litres of boot space. It is an unusual shape, it is fairly deep, and we do even have little tie down areas. This particular car is fitted with an emergency tyre repair kit, but yeah, it's fairly deep. You probably get a small suitcase, maybe 2 duffel bags for a weekend away, and it does have little kind of cutouts into the arches there, so you might be able to fit a golf bat. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's fairly deep. It's got a wee light. This little lightweight sports car does have some decent practicality in the rear. It's also worth mentioning we do have a little antennae on the back of the car as well. Alright, so you join me inside the interior of the Mazda MX-5. First thing I notice, you climb inside, it does feel like quite a tight cockpit. Obviously it being a small car, you do feel like it is very driver focused. We do have things like a manual handbrake quite close to you, the steering wheel, just the cabin overall is quite close. We do have a nice blend of analog and a little bit of a digital screen on the left hand side, tachometer right centre, very Porsche-esque, and then we've got the speedo on the right hand side. We do have 2 cup holders in between the 2 seats here, which is also nice to see. They do have a little bit of rubberized at the bottom so they can take a can or a bottle, and then underneath we do have a little bit of storage as well, maybe for coins and something small, probably not a phone. But yeah, we do have things like heated seats. We've got the climate control up here that do have nice big rotating knobs that you can pull and probably wear gloves comfortably with as well, which is a nice neat touch. We also have the Mazda screen up here. Then you can control that through the little BMW-esque iDrive system controller here, which rotates, and you've got home, music and nav buttons. Quite simple, easy to use. Up in front we do have, on the left hand side of the steering wheel, telephone controls, volume controls. On the right hand side we do even have cruise control. This car does have automatic lights and auto wipers as well. Now, also, wouldn't be a Cars of Glasgow video without a glove box reveal, and unfortunately this car does not have one, so that is a glove box fail, which is the second time in as many months that's happened to us. So yeah, the Mazda MX-5 does not have a glove box. We do have a nice, reasonable quality materials considering the marketplace this car's in. We do have the red stitching going across the seats and across the dash. Also like the fact the gear selector it feels quite nice in hand, and we'll feel this when we're out on the road, but it also has the red stitching going across. And in front of the gear selector there, we do have USB-A, aux-in cable and heated seats on this Icon trim model. Over in the door we do have the white body coloured panel up top, a little bit of a kind of chrome effect on the door handle, electric mirrors and electric windows. Kind of a faux carbon fibre-esque material on the door card there, and then a little bit of padding for your elbow where it's going to rest, which is quite nice, but there is no door bins or anything like that you may expect, so really the storage is going to be in the centre of the vehicle, which if you think about it is a little bit like what we've seen with the McLaren. Now, instead of the glove box up front, we do have the storage between the seats where you can hold things like your Mazda logbook, and this is the little book here with the little Mazda logo, quite nice and delicate. And that fits in between there, and then we've got a CD player just below that as well, so there is a little bit of functionality between the seats. And while we're here, let me show you how to put the roof up. Now, unlike some other cars I've been in convertibles electric, this is a manual top, so you pull this lever here, that pulls up like so, latches in, pull this down, and that's the car top latch. So I guess you could do that at a set of lights, or maybe quite quickly if the rain started coming off. I am 5'11", I've got decent headroom, shoulder room, width. The seat is manually adjustable as well. I do have decent enough space in here, so if you're 6 foot, you could probably get quite comfortable in here. It's not I couldn't imagine driving across Europe in it, but it's definitely got enough comfort and supporting the seat and a bit of space, at least to fit in the car, than maybe the exterior would make you think initially. And then, say for example, unlatch that, pull that back, push like so, and within seconds that can latch down. So yeah, quite an easy operation. A little bit harder to do when you're doing it on the camera with one hand, but as you can see, the operation can be done by hand quite quickly. So under the bonnet we do have this 1.5 litre SkyActive 4-cylinder 16 valve engine, produces about 129 brake horsepower, good for around 127 miles per hour. Now this car isn't designed for outright speed, it is all about driving dynamics and enjoying it on a country back road, so that's where we're going to take it next. Okay, let's go ahead and start the car up, and that wee 1.5 litre comes to life. Now put the windows up for this video just so we're not going to get too much wind noise, and here we go. Now it is quite a cold day today in Scotland, and this is going to be really my first experience and drive of an MX-5, so let's see what it's like. Now you do sit quite low down, you do have the bonnet extending out in front of you, and we do have, I can see the kind of shoulders of the car on the rear, and in the front I can see roughly where it is. The visibility out front is quite good as well. You can see the kind of the wings of the car, so to speak. Let's see what we've got. We've got little tiny sun visors which are carved out. It's probably the first time I've seen it in a car with the actual plastic. There's no like felt or anything behind them, they're just kind of carved out plastic. It does have a little mirror in there. There is no light. This is a rare day up here in Scotland. It's November, it's single digits, and we've got a little bit of sunshine up here in Dundee today, which is quite nice. Now I don't know if I'm stuck behind a HGV and there's a double-decker bus behind me, so this is probably the worst car in the world, wedged between those two kind of vehicles. But yeah, I do like just how everything's set up for the driver. It's quite a good like ergonomic design. The grasp, I do like the little kind of chrome touches on the steering wheel, and the manual roof, which I guess I would just be having so much fun putting up and down quite quickly. I guess one less thing to go wrong potentially in the future without a motor or something like that needing replaced. It does make a nice wee noise shifting up, and it does have a shift indicator as well on that little screen. Now, I love how the left gauge that tells you the temperature in the fuel is kind of like this white and black pixel, like it's little blocks. It's quite a nice little design, and it's very minimalist, easy in the eye. Let's put this into 4th gear. You know what, it's alright on the road. It's not the smoothest road in the world, but it's doing alright job of being here on the road. Let's go around this wee roundabout and see how it fares. Oh yeah, we can feel it's very light turning like so. Yeah, it feels alright. Woo! Quite a fun little car to drive. I mean, that's guess what this car's going to be. You know, I think you'd be hard pushed to make this your primary vehicle unless you're maybe a single person and you don't do big shopping and things like that, because you are limited with the space in this car, the size, dimensionally. It does have creature comforts like cruise control and heated seats, which are nice. And I think this is going to be a great, you know, Sunday car, weekend drive, something like that. Not saying you can't drive at the weekend, but it just gives me that feel that, you know, the tight cabin and all that, you might not want this for everyday driving. But out with that, you know, it's quite a fun little car to experience. I said it's definitely got enough get up and go for around town driving, and yeah, it seems fairly competent, you know, especially the 1.5 litre. I wasn't sure how that would feel, but you can feel that lightness in the car going round the corners, foot down. It makes an alright noise. It's an alright wee sports car. I can see why there's a big following for this in America. You know, the Miata seems to be a very strong cult following, and yeah, this is quite a joy to drive. So that is my drive on the Mazda MX-5. Thank you very much for watching this video on the Mazda MX-5. If you have any questions below, please comment and we'll get in touch. Thank you very much to STRUANS Autocentre Dundee for loaning me this MX-5, and make sure to stay tuned for the next video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ciao!